What's up? It's your girl, Nettie B.
Hey, and it's Reema L, and this is the Sugar and Spouse podcast where we'll be giving you all the tips and tricks, aka the sugar on wedding planning.
And let us not forget about the spouse, which are the ways to keep that spark alive before and after the I do's. We'll also be highlighting professional vendors and the ways to help you on your wedding planning journey.
That's right.
So, without any further ado, let's get into it.
When I feel what I feel, sometimes it's hard to tell so.
Hey,
Hey.
so the people have requested, they want to hear from us about
Wedding attire.
What you gonna wear? How you gonna be looking?
Right, gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Everybody think it's probably so easy, like, oh yes, I'm gonna pick up my dress. No, it's a lot
Yeah.
of time, thought, research. A lot goes into it before you run and get your wedding attire.
What you will find is with everything when it comes to wedding, nothing is that simple. Everything is a process. Everything has a special way to go about it. How did you go about getting your dress?
So my mom, I feel like, was more excited than I was. And she's like, "Yeah, when are we gonna look for your dress?" I'm like, I just got proposed to yesterday. So just give me time. But she definitely got me on board. She found a bunch of boutiques for us to go and just get an idea of what to look at. And when I tell you, I was like a fish out of water. They asked me so many questions that I wasn't prepared for. They're like, "Oh, what style of dress do you want? What type of fabric? What kind of embellishments do you want?" And I'm like, I don't know. I thought I would just come, look through the racks, get a dress, put it on, and see if I fall in love with it. But it was so much more than that.
Did you find that you had that moment when you put on the dress where you went to tears?
So I actually did have that, like, love the dress moment. We went to a place in Manhattan. I think it's called RF Bridal.
RK, that's where
RK.
that's where I got mine from.
Oh, okay. So there's like a big warehouse of dresses.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a dress there. I fell in love with the dress I thought. And we wanted to go to New Jersey because my mom, she is the shopping queen. She's like, there's no tax in New Jersey. We'll just go and get it in New Jersey. I'm like, all right, whatever. We go to New Jersey. Of course, they do not have the dress. So as I'm looking at other dresses, because I'm already there, I fell in love with another dress that I loved a bit more than the dress I thought I loved in Manhattan. Boom. I stopped looking after that.
Wow. So
Yeah.
was this like on the same day?
It was. It was.
I
It's like, let's just get it done. Let's get this dress picked out, ready to go.
So you wanted to go because your mom asked you to go. Were you like, you weren't feeling like, no, I got my dress, I don't want to go anymore?
At that point, it was kind of like all right, well, if it's gonna save, then sure, let's go.
Okay.
But I know there's like a rule of thumb. It's like once you find that dress, you fall in love with that dress, stop. Don't go anywhere else. Don't look anywhere else because your feelings are gonna change. Yeah. How was it with you? I hear we went to RK as well.
Yeah, I really like that place. So for me, I took too long to pick out my dress, as you all know. I took too long to start looking for it, and one of my bridesmaids, she was the spearheaded person. Like, she was like the one who was like setting up the stuff for me to go dress shopping because I just wasn't into it, and it was like really overwhelming. And
Yeah, because it's a lot.
it's a lot. And like, I was looking on Pinterest and Instagram and I had like this idea of a dress that I wanted, but like it was nowhere. Like I couldn't find it. And I didn't even know, it was like hard to find the designer. Like I had no idea. So what she did was I was searching for all these dresses that were very beautiful, but they were not the style what I wanted. She sent an email to RK Bridal and said, "Oh, do you guys have this dress?" And they were like, "No, sweetheart, we don't have this dress. However, we have another dress, and your friend should come tomorrow to come try this dress on.
Nice.
And it's in her budget. It's like all of that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you, it was exactly the dress I wanted. Like thought that I I thought I wanted something unattainable, but it was actually my perfect dream dress. I really loved it.
That's amazing. Yes. And
Yes.
definitely Ashley, that bridesmaid, she was my
Yes.
maid of honor, and she's definitely the model person as a bridesmaid. Like in the dictionary of bridesmaid, maid of honor, her
Yeah.
picture should literally be there
It
because
should be.
she kept me on track with a lot of things too. I think after that, she's like, all right, come on, we have to go get the bridesmaids dresses. And I'm like, oh, I kind of just went through this. I want a break. She's like, no, girl, keep the ball rolling. We got to keep it
Yep.
moving.
Yep.
So shout out to the bridesmaids who keep the bride on task.
For real, it was just so sweet. It was me and her just together, and we saw the dress and we were just crying. Like I was
They say that happens though. When you find the
yeah.
dress, those tears just
Just
kick in.
come. You just flash. Like for me, I just flashed seeing myself walking down the aisle. Like, yeah, this
Mhm.
is it. And it was on budget, like I said, and on everybody. The customer service there was so amazing. Like,
That's good. And that means a lot too.
it was like they did it every other place up to that point.
Mhm.
Everyone that I went to was like, you waited too long to get your dress. You have to make a decision today. You have to make a decision in a week. You have to pick this up now. It's never going to get to you on time.
Mhm.
They never at no point did they, I mean, I know they knew I was cutting it close, but they didn't make me feel like it was my pressure. They were like,
Yeah.
yeah,
As if it's impossible now.
yeah, it was.
Mhm.
And it was really cool. It's like, guys, I was getting married in December. I did not pick my dresses till like October.
Yeah, you were wilding. You was wilding. But they should still help you though. They shouldn't make you feel like it's hopeless.
They weren't making you feel hopeless. Everyone was more like saying you had to pick right away because there was no time. So
Mm.
that was what I do not recommend it. I feel like I got really lucky. So if you
Mhm.
guys are listening, do not be like me.
Mhm.
Pick earlier.
Mhm.
Started trying on earlier. It
Yeah.
was really nice to have
Mhm.
that experience though. Something I was like dreading to do turned out to be really like such a wonderful experience.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Mhm.
let's get right into it. Let's talk about some stats and facts.
Stats and facts.
Mhm.
So, the average cost of a wedding dress in 2022 in the US was about $1,900 in 2022.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right. And I swore I was not gonna be getting nowhere near there. Nope.
No. If you get a wedding dress under $1,000, then
Yes.
that's a steal. It's
Literally.
a legit steal. Like
Mhm.
custom dress, forget about it. Going to a boutique, even if you go to David's Bridal, it might be a couple of hundred off, but after the taxes and alterations, you're back in the range of 1,000. So for
Mhm.
the brides budgeting their weddings,
Mhm.
definitely start that dress price in that range.
Yeah, it should be safe to start around 19 now. Back in like
Mhm.
2020, you could have started like 15,
Mhm. Well,
but
inflation, girl, everything going
inflation
up.
and then, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Price, exactly. It's going up. Yeah. And then for the groom and his posse, his people, for them, everything usually comes together. They have it a bit easier than we do. But the cost averaged out to be about 200 to about 499 to
Mhm.
get their attire all together.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's just lucky for them.
All the
Yeah.
time. They have it so easy during this process. It's like,
They could
come on.
make it harder if they want. Like maybe they could start wearing makeup and doing get a little bit
You know?
extra, but they don't have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
show
some
up.
might, they might get some translucent powder so they're not,
Yeah.
shiny in the sun and stuff,
Yeah, yeah, but yeah,
but they
but
don't.
they don't. Their suits are nice.
Mhm,
Speaking of suits, another little trick, not trick, but tip.
mhm.
No, not even a tip, a stat. Girl, where am I at
Get
today?
it
Get it
together.
together. All right. In some cultures, it's traditional for the bride to wear red. on her wedding day. And this is like particularly like in China, it symbolizes good luck and
Mm-hmm.
prosperity. And also in Indian weddings,
Mm-hmm.
the bride typically wears like a traditional red sari, just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It looks so nice, like the beading and
It's,
the
oh,
detail of it. It's gorgeous.
I need to get invited to an Indian wedding someday.
Oh, right. Oh my God, it'd be so beautiful. I need to just like broaden my friendship groups and be invited to more more
More,
traditional other weddings other than
yes,
American weddings.
yes. Nothing wrong with American weddings. We love them,
Nothing's wrong with it.
obviously.
I just want to see
But
a different type of wedding.
me too. I
Yes.
want to go. I want to dress to the nines in like a different, like, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to experience it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I would love to wear a sari.
It would be so
Can't
pretty.
wait. Can't wait. But traditionally and in the States, we wear off-white, white. So as of lately, a lot of brides are staring away from that traditional
Mm-hmm,
aspect of weddings. There's people wearing black dresses, blush,
mm-hmm,
champagne.
mm-hmm.
So, about 60% of brides are more open now to a non-traditional wedding dress.
Yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've never seen personally known a bride to not wear white or like a off white, but I'm dying to see that. So I have some people still getting out there ready to get married. I would love to
Mm-hmm.
see you in a colored
Right.
dress.
Just putting it out there
Yeah,
in
just put
case
it
you didn't
out
get it
there.
yet. We'd love to see it.
And some couples also opt for theme weddings where the
Mm-hmm.
attire is totally based on a theme, like
Mm-hmm.
uh Harry Potter. I don't know if people really dress up for Harry Potter, but that's a theme that I've
Mm-hmm.
heard a lot. And some people do like Halloween themed
Yes,
like
I was gonna say
weddings.
that. Get like a black dress.
Yeah. Or a
Mm-hmm.
vintage
Yeah.
theme. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, with all this being said, whether you do traditional or you go non-traditional and make a theme out of the wedding, it's going to come at a cost. The business of weddings, as far as, from the venues to the boutiques, it comes at a high price that global revenue expects to make approximately $91 billion by 2026.
Ooh, did you say B? Billions with a
B.
B?
Big billions. Okay.
Wow.
So, and then I feel like maybe this is the age group of when we get married. But
Mhm.
now that I'm in this age range, I'm seeing more and more proposals, more weddings happening. So I could see it. And plus people are making up for lost time. The
Mhm.
pandemic took a good chunk of time out for people.
Mhm. Yeah, it is a very booming industry.
Mm-hmm.
Wedding industry is valid.
Mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm.
right. So, speaking of all this wedding stuff, let's help these guys and grooms get dressed, get suited up.
That's right.
Yeah. So with the groom's attire, the
Justin Timberlake just popped into my head when you said that.
suit and tie.
Yes, the exact song, Suit and Tie, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so there's like four classic kind of suit choices. One
Mhm,
of them is considered the morning dress. Now, this I don't really know much about. I'm assuming this may
mhm,
be something that's like maybe from our friends across the pond. But if you guys know more about that, let us know. But this is called
mhm,
morning dress, and that's like a long formal jacket with tails and a waistcoat and striped like
mhm. The striped
trousers. Yeah.
trousers, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You
So
want
let's
to
see. Yeah, and there's also the tailcoat. So I believe those it has the same aspect, like the two long tail pieces. You probably have
mhm.
seen it like maybe the royal wedding or something, but it's like considered one of the higher, more extreme formal suits that you could wear to an event.
So I like the when they look like penguins.
Yeah, there you go. Penguin. Penguin definitely
Yeah.
had a tailcoat.
Yeah.
I believe so. Either
I
that
mean,
or this morning dress.
dapper.
Mhm.
And then obviously there's a tuxedo, and that's usually like a suit with a lapel.
Mhm. Yeah, well, like I think satin, like it's a different type of lapel from a regular suit.
Yeah, yes, it's satin.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly,
Mm-hmm. The three piece, the jacket, the blazer, the vest, and the
mhm.
pants.
And
Mm-hmm.
okay, so like so these are all different types of suits. And then when you are thinking about, especially like the three-piece suit, you want to also think about the fits. So there's like three types of fits. There's a classic fit,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I guess, is more loose, like straighter fit,
Yeah, like a straight
like
cut.
a
Yeah.
straight cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's slim, which is
Mhm.
seeming more and more popular these days. Sometimes a little too slim or a little too skinny. I think some of you guys gotta let some more room in those pants, but that is very popular nowadays.
Yeah, that slim fit. It looks like they wearing their nephews.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really cool though. Actually, I really like it.
I
And
like it when it's cut nice. Like when it's a little too tight, it's like, don't move too far, brother. You might not
hold your
make it.
breath. Hold on. And then there's the modern fit, which I think is like a happy medium.
Mhm,
It's like more on trend with what's happening at the time, and it is a good little like
mhm.
mix between a slim and a classic.
Right, right. And, as we know already, because we've already gone through this time, and for
Hmm.
those who went to prom, that
Mm.
the guys have the luxury of having the option of buying or renting their suit.
Hmm.
So I know with custom, obviously, you can get it cut exactly how you want to the T.
Hmm.
With rentals, you probably don't have that luxury, but they do have different cut pants, so you can get as close to a custom tailored fit as possible.
Yes, the rentals come in all these, everything that
Mhm,
we listed, the rental
mhm.
will have.
Yep.
And they are always in business, and they're usually like trendy. So you can find
Mhm.
something that's like now and
Right.
that you can rent. Like, so for the grooms and his tribe and his groomsmen, you don't have to buy a full new suit. Renting is totally valuable option, and is
Mhm.
very common.
Mhm.
Unlike for like the brides, they don't really have that option for rental as often.
Right. It might
And
be like
it's,
one or two rental
yeah,
things.
one or
Mhm.
two, and it's just a little bit more complex, the whole piece. So
Right.
you won't find that for brides. And honestly, it doesn't diminish for the groom to rent at all.
No, not at all. That's a
Mm-mm.
one-stop shop. When they rent their tux,
Mhm.
they're getting everything: the
Mhm.
jacket, the bow tie, the shirt, the pants, socks, shoes.
And also like there's discounts. So usually when you go to like get rental, like
Mhm.
a lot of rental places would say, okay, if you get the 5 groomsmen, the groom is
Mhm.
free.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
groom is free. Like,
yeah. I think some
so.
custom places too, if you have a large
Mhm.
party, depending on how many you have buying suits, they will offer you a discount because 'cause you're bringing them so much business.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another thing.
Mhm.
The average cost specifically, I think we already mentioned how much grooms
Yeah, I think the general stat.
the general stat and how much it costs. But on the high end, if you're gonna go like the custom route, you can
Mhm.
expect to like cost between 850 to 1,500 and up.
Up. Yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some suits that get custom made and probably run the same price as some wedding dresses.
Yeah, and it's a lot that has to do with the type of material used, the custom things that you want done,
Mhm.
um, and the accessories like your cufflinks,
Mhm.
your bow tie,
Yeah.
whatever. All of that can add to the price.
Mhm.
So when you are renting or when you're going to buy, just keep in mind what works for your budget. Look around. I knew of a couple of like rental websites like that are really good. So there's one that's called the Black Tux, like
Mhm. Mhm.
BLXTUX.com. They are a part of Davis Bridal, and
Oh.
their website looks really nice. I felt that they had a lot of really good options, And since it's part of David's Bridal, if you get your bridesmaids from them, like
Mhm.
you guys can match. You can use like literally the same material.
Oh, that must be easy for match if you wanna match
If you
colors.
want to match color, and then they also offer like, because mismatching is a little bit on trend now in the
Mhm.
last couple of years. They
Right.
do like little sets, or oh yeah, you could pick these three options together to achieve that look. It's really nice.
Yeah, I did see a post on Instagram saying that that might be the new trend of 2023. Some
Mm.
of our followers was not messing with it. They're like, "Yeah, no,
There's a way
no."
to do the mismatch.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, yes. Because like, for our weddings, we mismatched the style of the dress, but,
Yeah,
like, we kept the color the same.
yeah,
So
the
everyone had
color
a
and the
different style.
fabric.
So something like that I think can fly, but a completely different dress, it might take me a while to get onto that trend, but
I think it has to be one thing that's tying them together. Like two things have to be the
something.
same. The two
Yeah.
things have to be the same. Number one, the occasion, like the style, like occasion wise. Like you
Mhm.
can't have someone in a super formal dress and someone else in a very casual dress.
Absolutely, man.
So like
Agree.
everybody has to be on the same level, like
Mhm.
that wise, like style wise. And then maybe you could play around with textures and colors.
Right, right. Because looking at the photos on Instagram, it literally looked like, oh, okay, a bunch of wedding guests had the same color dress and wanted to take a picture with the bride. It didn't
Mm,
give me that's the tribe, that's the bride's party. I didn't get
mhm.
that vibe at all.
Yeah, I could see that. I can totally
Mhm.
see that. Okay, well,
Yeah,
you guys got it pretty easy.
definitely do.
Is there anything else you need to know? Well, like your sizes or anything like that? They will
Mhm.
help you.
Yeah, they measure you.
They measure
Mhm.
you.
Even if it's rented, they're still gonna measure you. They'll give you the pants to try on. If you like the fit, those
Mhm.
are the same size pants, same cut that they're gonna order for you to rent. The only thing is you have to make sure you bring it back in time. And the cost is definitely less than getting a custom or buying a suit if you rented it.
Exactly. And did you see your husband's outfit before the
Before
wedding? Did you know what he was wearing before?
I didn't see him at all.
Not the day of, but
What do you mean?
like you know what his suit and stuff was gonna look like.
Oh yeah, I went with him. I went with him to pick it out because, happy wife, happy life. So
Yes. So that's another thing. You can go do it two different ways, like, but
Mhm,
make sure that, like we said with the mismatch, make sure that you are picking something that is on trend with the
mhm.
whole view of the wedding, the whole
Yes.
vibe of the wedding.
Mhm.
And consult your spouse.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely, and now thinking about it, now that I
mhm,
understand what you're asking me, I had to go with him because he wanted to go with, an off-white jacket, and
mm,
it could just be, like, my own little pet peeves, but I knew if they were gonna be off, like, if it was gonna be, like, white, white, and I knew I was wearing off-white, in the photos, in my opinion,
it
it
would it
it
would
would have stood
clash.
out. Yeah, it would've
Mhm.
clashed. I was like, "Yeah, no, I need to go, and we have to make sure that they're as close as possible."
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
For me, my husband didn't want me to see his outfit. He
Mhm.
wanted me to be surprised. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Got some rules
we
here.
got some rules here. I need to know what color you're trying to wear,
Mhm.
what's happening with that, what your groomsmen may be looking like. He explained it to me, and I was like, okay, I can trust you. And I feel like I put the bug in some of the groomsmen's ear, like the best man, like, hey, if he brings you this,
Yeah. These
oh,
are all
no.
no-nos.
These are no's.
Yeah. Imagine if he pulled up in, like, Will Smith's school jacket from Fresh Prince of
I
Bel-Air.
know, right? That's actually kind of fire.
It was fire, but
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta
I
talk about that though.
uh yeah, but if that's not what we was trying to do, you know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like that's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
And then
Mhm.
lastly, okay, so I mentioned Black Tux, BLX Tux,
Yes.
TUX. Then there's this other place called Generation Tux.
Mhm.
It's very similar. It's not a part of Davis Bridal, but they have some very trendy, really cool things. And then there's another one called like Jose Bank. Is that how you say it?
Jose Bank, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where our groomsmen rented their suits from.
Nice. And
Mhm.
then my groomsmen's got theirs from Indochino, and
Mhm.
they actually offer some really cool custom made like suits for really great prices.
Nice.
And even the ones that are like not custom, very very nice. All of
Mhm.
our groomsmen had got a chance to choose their own lining for the inside of their jacket. And it was really
Ooh.
cute. Everybody had like their own little cute thing. I was like, that was adorable.
Mhm. I didn't know all of their insides were different. Oh,
Everybody's
cool.
inside was different, but one of the groomsmen wore his inside out like the Fresh Prince because
I
his
did
was
see that. Yes.
his was really fire though because he had like a galaxy.
Oh, yeah, it was really nice. I just thought everyone's inside was the same as his. I was like, "Okay."
No, one of them he had like this like really cool checkered
Mhm.
yellow gold thing. Yeah, they all did their thing. I was gonna say, but
Nice.
it was nice. They worked really quickly for them as well,
Mhm.
and they helped everyone because everyone's like so many different body types, and everyone. I feel like all the guys looked so handsome.
Right, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, they came up together really good. It was really nice. Yeah.
So that's it for the guys.
Yeah, the guys has it easy, so we had to throw them up there first because we about to really get into it
Yes.
with our stuff. So the first thing we want to cover is what you need to know before you go to a boutique and look for your dress.
Yes. These are important. Can you start it off?
All right. So first, you want to know the type of silhouette you want. Okay. So with knowing the type of silhouette, there's different ones. This is typically just the shape of the dress.
So that's what the
And
silhouette is. It's the shape.
yeah, the
Got it.
silhouette. So like for example, we're gonna get into the details of them, but like ball gown and mermaid, those are two different silhouettes.
Okay.
Mhm.
You should also kind of know terms for fabrics. I think these um you can when you're looking and you see a dress that you like, you could like look at the description to see what type of fabric it is that you're looking at. But
Mhm.
there's silk, there's lace, there's crepe, there's tulle, chiffon,
Mhm. Mhm.
organza.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you're choosing fabrics based on what's suitable for the time of season and the dress code and the budget.
All important because the
Hmm.
price of silk won't be the same price as tulle. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind too when you're looking for that style of dress. Also, you want to look into the embellishments. Like if you want to dress with rhinestones, sequins, beads, lace, all those things are going to come into the conversation once you step into that bridal boutique.
Yes, and that's what they mean by embellishments.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
oh, that sparkly stuff,
Those
that
appliques,
the appliques, the embroidered, all of that,
Mhm.
that's an embellishment.
Mhm.
And just to help you when you're like trying to pick out your dress or thinking through what you actually like.
Right, and just know that those all of these things together play into the
Hmm.
cost of the dress.
Yes.
So a dress that's fully lace may be a different price than a sequence dress or a dress that has all kind of pearls and rhinestones, all those
Hmm.
detailed beading,
Hmm.
especially the dresses with the beading. I feel like
Hmm.
those are up there because it takes time.
Uh-huh. And like organza is like really
Mhm.
inexpensive. I feel like that's like a more expensive type of fabric.
Yeah, and it's like thicker,
So
isn't it?
I cannot remember, but I believe
We'll
so.
look into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But like these types of fabrics are what really adds to the cost, but also to the
Mhm.
look. And
Mhm.
things you should know or like just try to get familiar with when you go or take
Yeah.
note of.
Mhm.
So when you get there. And speaking of
Mhm.
when you get to the boutique,
Mhm.
you got to know what to wear when you're going to go try and pick out these dresses.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because everyone is going to tell you, oh, don't forget your strapless bra. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. We're about to let you know what you need. Okay.
Yes.
hmm
First off, start them off. Tell them.
All right. So they tell you to wear ideally the shape where you plan to wear the day of the wedding.
Mm.
Um, with the timeline that there is to get your dress, I don't know how many brides has that shapewear ready to go that far in
Yeah,
advance.
you don't even know what dress you picking.
No. And either way, they're gonna alter it to you anyway. And your weight's gonna fluctuate. But
Mhm.
anywhere you look online is gonna tell you to bring shapewear. And they also mentioned to bring neutral underwear.
Yeah, I didn't
Mhm.
bring shapewear. I would
I
say
didn't either.
the thing that I'm really happy I wore though was neutral underwear
Mm.
and the type of underwear that's like the seamless kind of
Mhm.
underwear. So I don't know if you guys know what that means, but it's like
Mhm.
you don't see the lines. It's like flat to your body.
Kind of self-explanatory.
Seamless, right?
No sleeves.
No seams. But that no, seriously, that was really, really helpful.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm. Especially depending on the type of cut dress, which we're gonna get into later.
yeah, and also it's just like you're trying on dresses, you don't know which one you
Mhm.
want. And you don't want to miss out on a dress or be completely blindsided by a dress that actually looks good on you, but you just are wearing the wrong undergarments.
That absolutely.
So with that said, no lingerie.
No, you don't need to get sexy for the people at the boutique. They do not care. They don't care about the lace. They don't care if it matches.
They don't.
They don't care if it's a corset, how cute it is. I could go on and on. Do
Yeah.
not bother wearing the lingerie. No one cares.
No one can.
It'll be a waste of time. And plus, with some lingerie, it has like lace and different cuts. And depending on the type of dress, like let's say if you want something more fitted, you're gonna see all of the detail of your sexy lingerie that
Yeah,
probably
awkward.
would throw you off. Right.
Yeah.
No
Um,
need for it.
no need. And then
Mhm.
yeah, you could say the next one. I totally forgot.
Yes. And as you know, I see how it's really popular and a lot of people like to give this advice, but you do not need a strapless bra
Don't
for
do
the
it.
bride. I'm not so confident about with the bridesmaid dress, but with your dress, usually there's cups. They will install the cups in the dress where you absolutely will not need a bra.
Yes.
So when you go to try that dress on, they're going to snatch it to your body, clip it together to make it
Mhm.
as fitted and custom to your body as possible. There's no room for the bra.
Yeah, that's true. It really isn't. You don't need a strapless bra. You always end up taking it off.
Mhm. Yep.
Uh,
And
uh
maybe we can show pictures of our wedding dresses, but I believe both of us had strapless bodice of our
mhm.
dresses.
Mhm.
And usually, you think of strapless, you have to keep, pulling it up, tugging at it to make sure it doesn't fall down. No. It was
Mm-mm.
kind of like super glued and it did
Yeah.
not move.
It wasn't made for my body. Like
Mhm.
that is what is really great if you get a good tailor. Like
Mhm.
you don't need all these other things because when it's made to your body, it's great.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And it gives you some lift. You don't have to worry about any kind of booby problems you would need the bra
mhm.
for.
Mhm.
Once you do those alterations, they're going to
Snatch
get you.
up. Also, bring some heels.
Mhm.
Preferably the type of well, if you already gotten your dress,
Yeah.
right? If you've already gotten your dress and you're coming for like a fitting, you want to bring the shoes you're going to wear on your
Bring
wedding day,
shoes.
right?
Right.
But if
Mhm.
you're going to shop for your dress, which we're talking about now, bring
Mhm.
high heels if you're planning on wearing high heels on your
Yeah.
wedding day.
Typically the same height because you want to see how the dress is going to fall with those type of
Mhm.
shoes on. So if it's not the same one, give the heel height to be around the same depending on what you decide to do.
Such so true. And a neutral in this case, like a nice whatever. It literally
Mhm.
doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
as
like,
long
you're
as it's
not
the
gonna
height.
see the shoes. Unless you
Yeah.
get a T-cut dress or T-length, no one's gonna see your shoes. So
Yeah, it's just like, some people are very visual. So if you
mhm,
are a very visual person, you kind of want to make sure you're not throwing yourself in a loop. Like you want to give yourself the best opportunities. And
right. That's a good
so,
point. That's a
yeah.
good point. And also you should bring hair ties and clips because
Hmm.
then you can manipulate your hair and try to put it in a way that you possibly would want your hair to be the day of your wedding and get a full idea of what the look will soon to be,
Okay.
you
So
know?
now, yep. And so now that you've gotten now you know the lingo, right?
Mhm. You
And
know the term.
now you know what to bring to your when you want to wear like pick your dress.
Mhm.
questions that you need to ask.
Yep. These are all very important questions, and you want to ask these things so you're not blindsided after agreeing to get that dress. So, the first question would be, are there any limitations around my wedding date for this dress? When I was shopping for my dress, when I went to the boutiques, they kept telling me that February apparently is completely off limits for the production of wedding dresses. I'm assuming a lot of these designers have manufacturers in China,
Mm.
and all of China shuts down in February for Chinese New Year. So you technically have
Oh.
a month that's out of the calendar when they're calculating that time frame for your dress.
Yes, that is so true. And also there might be other like limitations present that we're just not aware of. Like aside from factories being down, there may be some type of shortage in
Mhm.
some sort of fabric or maybe something with the boutique owner or the designer. So
Mhm.
definitely you want to ask these questions. And
Mhm.
another question is, are alterations included and what are the average costs?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so where I went to, well, a lot of places that I was going anyway, they
Mhm.
they were saying, okay, yeah, the dress is this amount, but alterations start at 800.
Yep.
Alterations start at 1,000 or like.
Yep. So depending on the boutique, maybe there's some out there. I haven't gone to any either, but the alterations will be a separate cost
Mm-hmm.
to the price of your dress. Also, I think what a lot of people probably know or don't know is that extra bustling of the dress that you see a lot of brides
Mm,
doing at the reception, so their dress isn't, tripping tripping the crowd or tripping them. That's an additional cost too that's done in alterations.
yeah. Um, and then also they usually charge something as rush fees. So like say if
Mhm.
you were a bride like me who got your dress kind of late, they will charge you a rush fee. Like
Yeah, to get it
so
to you
to
on
get it
time.
to you on time. So
Yeah,
usually alterations aren't included, but if you ask if they are and you find out that they are, hey,
right. Lucky you.
lucky you. But and just ask them their average cost because sometimes like the boutique itself will
Mhm,
charge way more for alterations
mhm.
than if you go somewhere else. So also just ask them if they
Yeah.
know any preferred alter like
Mm.
tailors.
Tailors, right.
Yes, any because and you don't just want to take your wedding dress anywhere.
No. No,
So that's
definitely
another
don't.
thing. So you could ask them if they have anybody that they can refer to you if
Right.
whatever they're offering is right.
Right. Yeah. In my opinion, I wouldn't advise going outside, depending on the type of dress that you have, because obviously they have tailors who are specializing in these materials for wedding dresses. They know how to cut around the beading, they know how to, adjust the sequence and things like that. So it doesn't look altered and it still
Mhm.
looks like you
Mhm.
got the dress as is.
Mhm.
So, to each his own, but definitely weigh out the cost and whichever works for your budget, choose the best route for you.
Oh, honestly, not just budget, but this is very important because this is like
Mm.
your pictures, your whole wedding, like how you feel that day.
Yeah, that is true. You
And
want it to
so
be top notch.
you want it to be
Yeah.
good. So
Oh yeah. So
uh
if you go out, from outside the boutique, definitely do your research on that tailor. Make sure that they have some sort of wedding dress alterations in their catalog, not
yeah.
just a regular seamstress that, add hems to pants.
That's true, but that's why I said you should ask the boutique who they suggest because they
Absolutely.
usually work with them, and if those people mess up the dress, the boutique will help you. Like they're like, oh, we take
Mhm.
responsibility for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask that
Yeah.
question because some
So
won't.
some
Some
won't,
won't.
but usually they won't. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's better than
Mhm.
just looking yourself, not unless you know someone personally.
Right, right. Yeah.
And here's a really cool one.
Mhm.
If your dress is like not in store and or it's not going to come in time, ask if you can get the sample gown.
Mm, mhm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, a lot of people have already tried it on, but sometimes they're not that bad. And if they're lucky enough that they fit you or are close
Yeah.
enough, you can just fix whatever doesn't like needs to be fixed and alterations.
Right. And something I just thought of, we didn't jot this down, but
Mm-hmm.
just for my, I don't know what frame of size this is, but wedding dress sizes are not the same as formal dress sizes.
Ding, 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 ding,
Okay.
ding.
So I went in knowing at the time I was a size 8 or 10. So when
Mm-hmm.
I went there, those are the size dresses I asked to see. And when I tell you, I barely got it past my knees. And it can be discouraging, but don't feel discouraged. Those dresses are made for, I think, 2 to 4 size smaller than
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
typical sizes. And usually their samples run like what? Size 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
But they'll
Yeah.
clamp it and they have tools to still get you in the dress, and they can order the size that fits you.
Another hack is like when I was looking, I made sure to write like plus size dresses,
Mhm.
because the plus size dresses,
Regular size.
the sample size are the regular
They're
sizes.
regular size, yeah.
So like not regular, but you know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
the sample sizes and plus size is not actually plus size.
Right. Right.
So there's just the way that they put the numbers on the dresses. Just don't worry about it. Like please, like it's dumb. Don't think about the number. It really doesn't reflect you or anything like that. If you are like sensitive about something like that, like
Mhm.
no, it's them. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they do.
Right? Just so you have that in mind when you go.
That's what
You're
you
you're
ask.
not gonna be
So
shocked.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then that's that. Okay, so
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
thing you should ask is if they have any upcoming trunk shows or discounts.
Trunk shows are so good. Yes,
Mhm.
at the trunk show, the designers sometime are there, sometime they're not, but they're really just featuring that designer's collection. And a lot of times they will offer discounts at the time
Mhm.
on that specific designer.
Yes. And
Mhm.
then yeah, and then if you're like buy like if it's like, oh, if you buy it today or in 2 days, you get like X amount of dollars off, or what,
Mhm.
or we'll throw in an extra veil, or we'll
Mhm.
throw in a train for you or the skirt.
Yeah, yeah, definitely ask about
Mhm.
sample sales too, because you can get a discount on your veil, on if you want an accessory to add to your dress, like the bedazzled belts and things like that, or
Mhm.
even your wedding dress. A sample sale is also a good way to get discount prices too. Mhm.
Mhm.
So also when you go to look for your dress, you want to ask them about how many fittings you will have. You know, you can't
Ooh.
just go to the boutique and try your dress on whenever you want. They tell you how many times you can come in and try that dress on. So I believe with mine, I want to say I had 3. It
I
was the
think
first one,
mhm.
I came sometime in the middle, and
Mhm.
then the last one when I had
Yes.
to take the dress with me.
Yep. It's yeah, I think that's typical.
Mhm.
Just depending on, I also think like it depends on how intricate your changes are, but I feel
Mhm.
like it's usually around 3. I mean, that's what I had 3.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
So,
and then
also, what's
you
next?
you want to know um what is the best way to store and transport the dress?
Mhm.
Um, when you pick it, I guess this is all like when you pick out the dress, but in general, I guess you can ask that when you come in, and they might
Mhm.
be able to tell you, yeah, you know, you got to make sure you lay it flat, or we'll hold it this amount of time for you, or
Mhm. Yeah, don't
all
let
of
it
that
sit in the sun or in a
stuff.
closet for too long,
Mhm,
temperatures, because so once sometimes, especially if you're getting white or off-white, depending on how you store it, can distort the color. I don't
mhm.
know if any of you had something white that's been stored in the back of the closet for however long, and then you go look at it and it's like yellow. So definitely ask that so that way you're not surprised the day of your wedding.
Mhm.
So I think that's about it. I think those are all the questions. Granted, you can ask more, but these are some
Yeah.
we wanted to highlight for you guys.
Right. Okay, well, let's get into like dress styles and body types.
This is the time I've
This
been
is the
waiting for.
time.
Yeah. So remember when I told you guys to remember that term silhouette? We're now about to go into the different silhouettes that wedding dresses typically come in. We don't have them to show because we also have listeners on Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Spotify,
Yeah.
and Google. So we will be posting these on our Instagram page. And again, you can find us at Sugar and Spouse on Instagram. So the first
Exactly.
dress we have here is an A-line dress.
Ooh.
So typically this design emphasizes a more narrow waist and
Mhm.
can emphasize, I guess, or hide or try to make it more form fitting for wider hips. The bodice is usually form fitting and it flares out at the bottom to kind of give that shape of a capital A.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like another like bridal silhouette, I think this is really popular is
Yeah.
the mermaid. So
Mm-hmm.
this one, it kind of like it hugs your body from the top and all the way down, and then it flares out at the end, like at like mid thigh to like your knees, and it flares
Mm-hmm.
out then, kind of like a mermaid. So it looks like little fish tails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the bottom is usually like really wide and
Hmm.
dramatic. So and a lot of people may get that confused with trumpet, which is another silhouette. And you can possibly Google or look online. These two are often compared to each other because they're very similar. I believe the difference is the trumpet flares out at the mid thigh, whereas
Hmm.
mermaid can be mid thigh or knee,
Hmm.
and it's not as wide and dramatic. I think it's more subtle the way it
Yeah,
flares out.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then this one is called an empire.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is like when it's really tight. I think of kind of like peasant gown, if I'm thinking it
Mm.
correctly.
Like from
So it's
Bridgerton.
like a Bridgerton, like something like that. So like up
Mhm,
top, there's it tight, and then like right under your bust line, it flares out.
mhm, mhm,
So it gives you like this nice drape instead of like highlighting your waistline.
mhm. Yep, and another one is the ball gown. I know a lot of us know of the ball gown from
Yeah.
Disney and everything else.
So pretty.
So with the ball gown, as it says, it's very grand, for balls, but the
Mhm.
top is very fitted. Sometimes it's a corset, and it leads out to a big, full, voluptuous kind of skirt at the bottom.
It's a very big. Think Cinderella. Think
Mm.
all the big Disney princesses.
Oh,
That's a ball
yes.
gown.
Mhm.
Um, So then there's the sheath or the
Mm,
slip dress. That's
mhm,
really pretty. I think it's kind of where it just falls on your dress from the hips to your hem. So it's
mhm.
kind of like a slip dress, if that makes if that
Mhm.
if I'm explaining it. It's form
Yeah.
fitting and it's just straight down.
Mhm. I feel like those are more popular now with bridesmaids too. A lot of bridesmaids are wearing those slip dresses.
I love those dresses. So pretty to me.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And the last one we have here is T length. That is
Mhm.
a dress that falls maybe about right before your ankles, if not 2 to 3 inches above your ankles. So it's not a floor length gown like the other ones.
Mhm. Okay, and so there's different type of bridal styles to just keep in mind. You can
Mhm.
be like boho or glamorous,
Mhm. Sexy, simple, romantic, you know.
vintage.
Yeah.
So, and those kind of play into like you just think about them when you're looking at your silhouettes because a lot of times, certain silhouettes are really popular within certain styles. So, like boho, you'll find a lot of like the sheath, maybe even I would say more of like the T length, like those type of dresses in the boho style.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and the possibilities are endless.
Mhm.
So if you want something boho, you can figure it out. You may be able to get a kind of glamorous boho thing, like dress, if you're like leaning towards like the embellishments or the fabrics.
Mhm.
Those things can also dictate the vibe.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
if,
definitely elevate it if you need to, but you wanna
mhm.
keep the style.
Yeah, keep the style. So
Mhm.
keep it in mind.
Yeah, and before you pick out your dress based on those silhouettes, you must know your body type. There's
Mm.
there's a lot of people who probably don't know their body type. Now, do you know your body type?
No, I have an idea what I think my body type is, but that was probably like 10 cheeseburgers ago, girl.
Right? I think I went from maybe
Yeah.
I think I made apple and pear shape. I think
Yeah.
I'm flirting with the fruits.
She said she's a fruit side. I don't
Somewhere
know.
there. But so some of them are, and I'm just gonna run through them and then we'll try to give you some ideas of what dresses can possibly go with those shapes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's hourglass, which is like that Coke bottle shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very curvy person. There's tall, slender, which is like a straight shape.
Mm-hmm.
No offense, but there's not much shape, kind of rectangular and straight. Strong, sporty, athletic, busty, pear shape, and petite.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And with all of these, some of the silhouettes like really play into them.
Mm-hmm.
And like for mermaid is really like or paired well with like a hourglass doesn't mean that if you're any other body type that you cannot wear these. It was just
Mm-hmm.
saying that this is where they're most likely like the inspiration for trying to create the
Right.
silhouette.
Right.
Hmm.
Or they might enhance features better. So like if you're
Yes.
tall and slender, maybe something of like, I don't know, like a A-line or a
Hmm.
dress with a slit in it would be more insinuating to your length and your height.
And like if you're strong and like athletic, the strapless, the halter, it's really nice. It accentuates your
Mhm.
muscular, nice
Show them
arms.
cuts.
Show them up. It's really nice.
Mhm. Yeah, or like petite,
Hmm.
you wanna try to be elongated, so there's
Hmm.
such things as, like, an open back that will kinda just give you that illusion of
Hmm.
being longer. So things to keep in mind.
Right. And like when you have to also consider your bust. So if your
Mhm,
bust is like a really small bust, you may want to consider like you getting a plunging neckline because that would just accentuate that or like a
mhm.
corseted. And if it's a larger bust, like maybe you try to get like wider straps or sleeves or a
Absolutely.
sweetheart,
Yeah,
So
definitely, definitely. Imagine if you had a large bust and you try to wear those deep V, the fashion tape will be your best friend, hoping
Yeah.
it's a really good one to
Yeah.
not give out in the middle of the night.
Fashion tape and your tailor, those are like the fairy godmother
Mhm,
and like her
mhm,
spell that she puts
mhm.
on the
The
mice to
fairy
make them,
dust.
the fairy
Yes.
dust, that's the tape. Your carriage. It's
Yes.
working together. It can happen, but it's a lot of
Mhm.
work going into
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah. They're gonna make it work if
They'll
that's
make
what you want. They're gonna make it work. All right.
so now you know stuff about your dress, like all of these different types of styles,
Mhm.
and hopefully this could get you to pick your dress,
Absolutely.
and you're on to getting your whole squad dress now with your bridesmaids.
Mhm.
Like what goes into
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah, so research has shown that typically
Hmm.
the bridesmaid's dress would be a reflection of the bride's dress, not an
Hmm.
exact replica of it, but
Hmm.
you kind of want to keep them in mind to have this something similar that ties them in with your dress as well.
Hmm. Um, for me, my dress had like a split, and it
Mhm.
also had buttons on the back, and it had like a little V top.
Mhm.
And so all of my bridesmaids, they all had different cuts and stuff, but all their dresses, everyone's dress had some piece of that, like with my dress.
Right, right. And with mine, I had I believe it was trumpet. It was a trumpet with an overskirt.
Mm,
So an overskirt pretty much gives that kind of look from the back of a ball gown.
mhm,
It's a bit flirt out, it's a bit larger or whatever. But I wanted a different look going into the reception without having to change. So
mhm.
when you took that skirt off, then it was the trumpet dress. So my bridesmaids have had a mix of those dresses. I had some bridesmaids with the flowiness with the chiffon, and then others had more of a form-fitted trumpet dress as well.
Yo, I loved the trumpet with the skirt, girl, when I was trying on dresses. I
It's a
tried on I
way.
was like, yo, I need a skirt. I need a skirt. But I also wanted a split, so I couldn't have both.
Mm,
So
yeah, you gotta
I
choose.
had to choose, but I was like this close
Mhm,
again. That was so cool.
mhm,
Um, and so with that said,
mhm.
how do you go about choosing your dresses for your bridesmaids? Definitely want to make sure that they are keep in line with you, and you also might want to consider like the same color with different styles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And when you go, and for the bridesmaids, their dresses don't have to be as intense as yours, meaning like you might not want to get a bridesmaid's dress that has to have so many alterations. Like
Mhm.
you might want to consider your bridesmaids are able to go to their local um dry
Taylor.
cleaner to get
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
tailored, or like
Mhm.
make, well, they want like small edits because it's not their wedding, and just keeping their
Yeah.
price in mind and their time too is it's just
Yeah, and there's a couple of
mhm,
I think bridal designers who have bridesmaid collections in line. I know Desi is another one that
mhm.
have pretty good prices for bridesmaids dresses, and they're pretty much in every bridal salon. You can find a Desi dress.
That's true. You know who else is you can't sleep on? David's
Mm.
Bridal. They
Mhm.
did a whole little revamp. I feel like they got better after
They get it more
2020.
couture like.
Yeah, they have like two different lines and stuff. You can totally do that.
Mhm.
Then there was this other one. What is their name? They were online, and
Mhm.
I wanted to get the bridesmaids dresses from there, but I was too late
Mm.
because they needed time to come and
Okay.
yeah, stuff like that. And I'm gonna look for them. I'm gonna look for them right now.
Right. And keep that in mind when you're looking about these dresses. You should pay attention to the designers and where they're located because
Hmm.
if they're overseas or in other states, you have to factor in transportation, you know?
Yes. Yes. It's called Revelry.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. And they're really cool. Revelry,
Mhm.
Revelry. And they have two a whole little section in where they show you how to mix match their bridesmaids dresses, where you can
Mhm.
do different textures, different colors, like different shades of the same color. I like the way they did it.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, these are exactly the dresses I wanted to get, but didn't have time.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I did too, I got my girls together and we went out and tried the dresses on. I literally, when I say fish out of water, you would think that I wasn't a woman who knew about a dress because I had no idea what type of dress I wanted them to wear. So it was easy for me to decide once I saw them in actual dresses. Then I
Mhm.
can make that decision like, okay, yes, I like that on your body type. I like this
Mhm.
on you. And
Mhm.
that helped me out a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's important that you have your bridesmaids try on the dresses because you never like with anybody, human beings, you could just it looks a certain way on the rack, it looks a certain way on the pictures,
Mhm.
but what it looks actually on could be
Absolutely.
totally different.
Yep.
So when
That
you
online picture will be
mhm.
completely different in person.
And like we said before, you can ask questions about the discounts, similar questions you want to ask when you're
Mhm.
going with your bridesmaids. You want to ask, how long is this going to take? What are the alterations needed? Where is this being sent? Are there any discounts? Because usually they have discounts, especially if you're,
Mhm.
buying for more than one person.
Yep, but that's for the larger bride tribes. Then you
Mm-hmm.
have a certain past I wanna say past 8, they start talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
discounts.
that's right. Yeah, they put the number up really high for the brides.
Yeah, but luckily, that's
Mm-hmm.
on trend. Everyone's doing larger bridal parties now, so
Yay!
definitely ask that question. I don't know if they'll be promoting it or putting it out there, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And with that, we're going to talk about how much time do we have to get
Yeah.
all this done? What's the timeline?
So typically online, they say it takes about 6 to 8 months where a bride should put the order in for her dress and 3 to 6 months for the bridesmaids.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely keep that time frame in mind. Some places even you might see they'll talk about a year. I mean, a year in my opinion is a bit long. You know, designs change, fashions change. So you might get your dress a year out and then just so happen to see something that you like too. So I think
Oh,
6 to 8 months is safe.
yeah, that's a nice sweet spot. Six
Mm.
to eight. I
Yeah.
think that's really good. And then you like also with weight changes and stuff like that, you're
Mhm.
less likely to like do a big dramatic change like
Right, right.
like that amount of time, and that also in turn impacts your alterations, which then changes the price.
Yeah,
So
definitely. It's hard to kind of keep your weight maintained for an entire year. And, let's say if you get pregnant or something happens, or one of the
mhm,
bridesmaids,
mhm.
you cannot return that dress.
Yes, yes, that's right. I forgot about that part.
Yes.
And then for the guys, you don't have to even get your stuff that early, not unless you're doing custom work.
Mm-hmm.
But we do still suggest, if you're renting, like try to rent some time out, because you want to make sure that the suits that you want are actually available. So
Right,
I
right. Yeah, I
would
think they're a bit closer. I want to say the guys
say
maybe around
2
2 to 4 months.
yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
2 to 4 month time frame should be safe for the guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we are getting down to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zipping through this. So let's play a little game. This is going to be something new. We're going to try it out, see how it goes. If you
Uh-huh.
guys like it, let us know. If you think we should scrap it, let us know too.
Okay.
We're going to give it a try. This game is called What's the Price? So, this is
Mhm.
our way of helping you become more familiar with some wedding dress designers that you may not know of. And we're going to try to guess what the price range is for these designers. What do you think?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, we're saying a bride, like you hear a wedding dress designer that you're like, oh,
Mhm.
I was interested in. I wonder how
Mhm.
much they cost.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And forgive us if we butcher the names. There's a lot of names here that are not easy to pronounce. All right. So, okay. I'm gonna start it off.
Alrighty.
The first dress designer I want to highlight is Essence of Australia.
Nice.
So it indicates here, with hundreds of gowns and several in-house labels to choose from, there's bound to be at least one Essence of Australia wedding dress at a boutique near you.
Oh, nice.
This should match any type of vibe, budget. They have dresses that stream from romantic styles with lace and appliques, off the shoulder necklines, fit and flares, and they are based in Kansas and, of course, Australia.
Oh, nice.
What is the price range? What do you think?
Ah, okay, what's the name again? Let me think about it.
Essence of Australia.
Essence of Australia. I'm gonna say 2000. They start anywhere from 2000 and up.
Oh, okay. Well, then they're more affordable then. According to theknot.com, their price range is from 500 to over 1,000.
Oh, see? Okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because when you said that piece about them being available to everyone,
Mm-hmm. Thought the price was up there, huh?
yeah, I was like, okay, it's gotta be something that
Mm-hmm.
somebody can won't average. All right, so how about all right, this designer, this is
Mm-hmm.
Berta.
Ooh, oh my gosh, I wanted a better dress.
Show me a bride who did not want a Berta dress, and I'm gonna show you a bride who just hasn't seen one.
Yeah, when
Okay.
you want a sexy dress,
Ooh.
you go to Berta.
Yeah. That's the official name on there. That's his
Mhm.
name. No, just kidding. But yeah, so they're known mostly for their statement making gowns, with like these beautiful bustier bodices, very low backs, very beautiful eye-catching embellishments like feathers and intricate beading and that sheer lace invisible signatures.
Mhm.
Let me see. Where are they located? They're located online, and you
Mhm.
can find them in different like boutiques around, like New
Mhm.
York. You can find them in New York. You can find them in certain like shows, but they definitely have sound. They definitely have a, a boutique in New York in NYC.
Nice.
So, what do you think a Berta gown costs?
Oh, girl. And I only know this because I had the audacity to try to look for a Berta dress. Berta, from what I've been told in 2019, starts near 8,000. and can go up from there. Hmm.
Yes. They said you know how you know Berta is no joke?
How you
Because
know?
usually when you look it up, it says inquire for prices.
Yep.
But the prices are like this is like usually the ones that we like are like 8,000 and they can go all the way up to 17,500.
And it's hard to find the prices. Granted, what we saw could have been a restock dress or a resold dress at those
Yeah,
prices.
at those prices, like, but regardless, Bird is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful dress. If you can afford it, I would definitely highly suggest Berta. Love it.
All
All
right.
right. So our next one is called Haley Page.
Oh yeah, I like
Mhm.
those dresses.
Haley Page is definitely in a lot of boutiques in New York. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure in other states in the United States. So this is instantly became recognizable from TLC's Say Yes to the
Mhm.
Dress.
Mhm.
So they've become a more popular wedding dress in the last decade. They have dresses from lilac tulle ball gowns to ruffled tier skirts with full sparkles, and their design is really good for the bride who wants a bit of fun in their look. What do you think the price range is?
Like maybe $1,000, 1,500.
Okay. Haley has upped the ante a little bit. The price range is 2,500 to close to 8,000.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Maybe because they're getting, the popularity from TLC.
Yeah, but her dresses are really nice.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're really beautiful, and I feel like, I guess because of TLC, but you could probably meet her. Like, I feel like she'd be around.
Oh, because yeah, the headquarters is here in New York.
Yeah, which is really cool too, getting to meet the, designer that made your dresses so nice.
Hmm.
Okay, so here is another, wedding dress designer. This designer is more like for our modern vibe brides out there,
Hmm.
Galvan.
Hmm.
So Galvan features these sleek silhouettes with the bridal separates, like the tops and the skirts. It is a wedding dress brand that you'll know if you consider yourself an understated yet fashion forward type bride.
Hmm.
Since their launch in 2018, Galvan has made its name among the fashion and Hollywood sets, with a team of 4 female designers focusing on empowering women through their clothes. So I wonder what sizes they put their clothes at.
Hmm.
They're actually headquartered in London, England. So
Oh.
how much do you think a dress like from Galvan would be?
They're based in the UK.
In the UK across the pond?
Um, I want to say anywhere between, I would say 3,000 to 8.
8,000?
Yeah.
Actually, 3,500 is their top.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's like they start like 300 to 3, and
Mhm.
I don't know if it's like, is that euros, if that makes any difference? I don't think so. It says dollars.
Oh, that's a good point.
Nah, I think it's dollars.
That might be. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I know it's like we're getting super excited for these thousand prices, but this is literally the ballpark of wedding dresses. So anything under 3, it's like, okay, we're getting back to our range of budget. After 3, mm,
But if you don't want to spend, I'm gonna just only throw this out again. And if you don't want to spend any of these types of prices,
yeah.
you can find a bridal look for like under $100.
Oh,
Fashion
definitely.
Fashion Nova has like a really cool bridal section. Pretty Little
Mhm,
Thing does.
mhm,
What's that other one? Dang,
mm.
they lost from my head right now. But like all those kind of websites have a bridal section, which I
Absolutely.
wouldn't, you got to get it really early to just check. But
Mhm.
then there's also websites like this one called Still White, Still White, like the color white, where
Yes.
brides sell their dresses
Mhm.
after their wedding, so you can get a bird or gown for literally half the price.
Right, right, definitely. And just know when you go to Still White, there's not an inventory of these dresses. This is literally a bride reselling her dress. So
Mhm.
definitely pay attention to the size of the
Mhm.
dresses that you're picking out on there.
You can when you sign up, because I was totally considering doing this. When
Mhm.
you sign up, you make like a profile with your size, what you want to see or whatever. So
Oh, nice.
so you won't be shown dresses. You could filter too, or for
Mm-hmm.
dresses that are your size and the price range or whatever you look at, or designers.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. So let's see. Let's see if I can find another one. Okay. So Oscar de la Renta
Ooh.
makes wedding dresses. Okay. So rising in the fashion fame from the 1960s. He's been a very successful and recognizable couture
Hmm.
designer over the course of time. Okay.
Hmm.
So the name obviously pops out. We're giving luxury, we're giving
Hmm.
fashions.
Hmm.
What do you think the price range is?
Inquire within. Email to inquire for price.
No, it actually noted it. Give me a number. Give
All
me a
right, all right.
number.
I gotta give you a number. Okay,
Yes.
well, since they've been established, maybe their dresses start at 5,000.
8,000 plus. Mm-hmm. Girl, this is Oscar de la Renta.
It is. Who we playing? Put some respect on his name.
They said they have larger than life details, giant
Mm.
bows, floral prints. Yeah, you're getting the works.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. All
I
right. Well,
think
that's
I
that's
think
just a
we've learned
few.
a lot.
Yeah. And that's just a few. There's a
This
laundry
is.
list of designers, and we can definitely post that for you guys so you can learn and
Mhm.
research and possibly find the designer that has a style of dress that you're into.
Yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm excited. And you guys just let us know if there's any specific designer you might want to ask us to know about or our opinion.
Yeah, yeah. If we see a
Mhm.
sample
Mhm.
sale, a trunk show, we
Mhm.
definitely would keep you guys in the know so that
Mhm.
way you can be on top of it.
So,
Mhm.
that was fun. Do
Yeah.
you know what time it
Yes,
is?
yes, 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 I do. It's a
It's
sweet
sweet
tune.
tunes.
All right,
Sweet
all
tunes.
right. So, as you know by now, this is the time of the show where we try to help you guys out. We give you
Mhm.
2 songs that you can add to your wedding playlist, whether this be for the reception, the ceremony, your wedding video, your
Mhm.
bachelorette party, whatever
Mhm.
you wanted to be a part of. We're here to help.
Getting ready.
Hmm. We got you.
Yeah.
All
Uh,
right.
so I'm gonna go first.
All right.
I chose today's song.
Mm-hmm.
I look real good today,
Mm.
by
I look
look
real
real
good
good
today.
today. It was by OT Genesis. You
Mhm.
guys, it just reminded me of today's topic, which was all about everybody looking good, getting dressed and getting ready.
Mhm.
And it's also a really fun song. If it was being played while you guys are getting ready, that would be fun. If it's
Yeah.
being played for somebody to walk into the wedding, like one of the bridal
Oh, the
party,
reception?
into the reception
Oh,
piece,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that would be fun.
It's gonna get the
And
party started.
yeah, getting the party started. So it's a fun song to add. And yeah, that's where I'm feeling. It's time. We've made it to the end.
Yeah.
Sugar and spouse tips wrap up. And
Mhm,
this is the point
mhm.
where we just give you our biggest tips for sugar and spouse that wrap it up from
Mhm.
this
Wrap up
week.
this episode. We gave a lot.
We gave a lot. So for the sugar,
Mhm.
Reed, would you like to take it away?
All right, this week's sugar, you want to think about all these minor details that is going to play a major role on your big day. You definitely want to look and make sure the dress, the bridesmaid's dress, the groom's suit, the groomsmen suits, the decor, all of it plays into the part of the theme of your wedding. And you want to pay attention to those details. That's
Yes,
it.
I like that. And for the spouse, you and your spouse, you guys can decide how you guys want to reveal your
Mhm.
wedding attire.
Nice.
Of course, you guys are talking about the vibe check from the sugar, but also decide, hey, do I want my groom to see me before? And
Oh, the
oh,
reveals.
yeah, the groom, does he want me to see his outfit before we walk down the aisle? You guys can definitely take the time to decide how you want to go about the reveals. It can also help with planning your
Mhm.
attire, because
Mhm.
you got to know what you're trying to evoke from your partner if you're trying to
Mhm.
just hide
That's
it.
right. That's right. That's right. You want that surprise to be a big and good one.
Yes, to be a big and good one. If you go that route, like sometimes it might be better that you guys can like do it together. Just what works
Mhm.
for you, of course.
Yeah, or even if you kept it traditional and wait until you're coming down the aisle, it still will be a surprise.
Yeah, it will.
Mhm,
It's so
mhm.
nice. I was surprised with how I looked in my dress.
Oh, it was so good. And we're gonna post our
Yes.
pictures so you guys can see too.
Oh,
We're gonna post
snap. We
them.
gonna post our pictures. You
We'll get
guys
it out
get
there.
ready. We was looking good.
Yes, yes, yes. And y'all are about to see.
Y'all to see it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. As you can see, my backlight went out because it's time to go. That's the end of the show. We want to thank you guys for tuning in with us again, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, and don't forget to like us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, listen to us on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify.
Spotify, anywhere else that you can kind of get spot like podcasts, you could check us there.
We're gonna be there. We got you.
And so until next time,
Bye.
bye bye.